right, so number 10 on sequence 3, it says find x so that x minus 2 and x plus 2 and 3x minus 2 are terms in a geometric sequence. Now, this is really, really similar to the ones that we did when we did an arithmetic sequence. So remember, in an arithmetic sequence, the common difference would be if I take this and subtract that, I would have a common difference. Or if I take this and subtract this, I would have a common difference. But now I have a common ratio, and so I have to divide them. So basically what that is saying is if I take A2 and I divide it by A1, I'll get some common ratio. And if I take A3 and divide it by A2, I will get some common ratio. Right? If I take this divided by this, I would get my R, or if I get this divided by this, I get R. Well, since these are both equaling R, I can set them equal to each other. So I can say this would be A3 over A2. So now that I have this, I can use this to set this up. So A2 would be, I'll do it down here, x plus 2 divided by x minus 2. So this guy divided by that guy has to equal 3x minus 2 divided by x plus 2. This guy divided by that guy. So now in order to solve this, I can cross multiply. So I'm going to get x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals 3x minus 2 times x minus 2. Now this is really just an exercise in algebra. Multiply this out, I'm going to get x squared plus 4x plus 4. And this is going to give me 3x squared. This will give me a minus 6x and then a minus 2x. So this will be minus 8x plus 4. And now I have two quadratics. So in order to solve a quadratic, I want to set it equal to 0. So I want my first term to be positive. So I'm going to subtract these guys over here. So if I subtract x squared over here, I'm going to get 2x squared. If I subtract the 4x here, I'm going to get minus 12x. And if I subtract a 4, I'm not going to get anything there at all. It's going to be 0. So now I have a quadratic. I'm just going to turn it around. 2x squared minus 12x equals 0. To factor this, I'm going to factor out a 2x. I'll be left with x minus 6. So now by the zero product property rule, I know that 2x has to equal 0 or x minus 6 has to equal 0. So now that I know that x equals 0 or x equals 6. So you can kind of check that. If you plugged in 0 here, I'd get minus 2. If I plugged in 0, I'd get plus 2. If I plugged in 0, I'd get minus 2. So you can see this would be a geometric series where I'm just multiplying by -1 every time. Or if I plugged in 6, this would be 6 minus 2. This would be 4. This would be 6 plus 2, so this would be 8. If I plugged in 6, this would be 18 minus 2, so this would be 16. So you can see that I'm multiplying by 2 every time. So if you have any questions on that, let me know.